All right. Hang in there with me for a second. I need some music. You know, not the click 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 of in the background, but some sort of music like thing. Oh dang. I just noticed that Christian Baxter had Jordan Hall. I need to watch that. Hang in there with me. All right. Not quite. We're not quite there. I mean, if you want to watch me fiddle around, how's everybody doing? Aye. Okay, the stream, Grizz, please help me understand what you're saying. Stream H has started. WTF. Yeah, it's just because I'm early. I'm a little early. That's why you got to hit the notification bell. You know, friends, you got to hit that notification bell. You never know when I might go live. If you're interested in when I go live. Yeah, so, I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I work full time. I do this because I enjoy it. And it's a bit of a science experiment. But, yeah, Tuesday nights, generally speaking, I try to stream around 8 o'clock. That might spill over to a Wednesday stream. But, okay, the stream starting soon when the stream has started. Oh, gosh, yes, I understand now. It's confusing. It's hard. Now, there's a lot going on in the world. Thank you guys for being with me. There's a lot going in life. I get to give a shout out to my buddy Scott here in a little bit, so I want to queue up his Spotify. And usually what I'm doing here on a Tuesday is I'm kind of picking up the pieces. There's always more to be said when it comes to like podcasting. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've had to do shorter episodes, which I'm not super happy about. I really like the 45-minute, hour-long deep dives, and I just haven't had the time, unfortunately. So let me know what you think about some of these shorter ones. 27 minutes was the last one. Joe Rogan versus the Tower of Babel. Again, I'm going to pick up that theme tonight and kind of share some stuff that didn't quite make it onto the edit. And part of the reason was just time. Is modern Babel falling? What do you think, Grizz? What do you think? Is it cyclical? Does Babel fall and then reform? I'm of the impression, I'm cautiously optimistic about what just happened in human history. I don't know if you guys are thinking this way. I don't know if you feel this way, but I think in some form, Babel has fallen. Whatever this machine was, clearly short-circuited after this last election. Now, I'm still, again, cautiously optimistic. I don't know what'll happen in the next couple of months. But it seems that there was a quote from some, thinky-talky philosopher, cool person who said that, Stalin and Hitler would envy the type of mind-controlled devices we have today, the propaganda machine that we have today. Stalin and Hitler and others would envy that type of machine. And I think that they had not yet looked far enough into the future, because I think one of the things that they didn't quite anticipate was that we are people of the word. Humanity has an interesting relationship to just the word, and I mean that in a very practical sense, but also in sort of the esoteric sense of the logos and following the logos. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that way, Evan, a little bit, but we'll keep it optimistic tonight. For the most part, I do think this will be a bit of a attacking the darkness stream, but we are going to be really analyzing or trying to put our finger on what just happened, and did the Babel, the beast machine, really kind of short circuit there at the end of 2024. Of course, we still got a month into 2024, whatever, but a month left of 2024. But I wonder if we look back in history, we'll just go, yeah, that was super weird. Like, did they really put, like, did the Democrats really put Kamala Harris as a candidate halfway through the election? Had already, like, we were already in process and Joe Biden was running as the incumbent, and then they were like, no, actually it's this. So and I'm probably going to let loose a little bit from the political thing. I tried to hold back a little bit during the election cycle, and I think in order to properly analyze what just happened, I have to just sort of share my opinion freely. I think that was, I think insanity was on display. I think there was levels of just cognitive dissonance that again, we might get into here. I'm going to be pulling from some different voices than I normally do. Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, Russel Brand. And I'm actually going to go into Anthony Bryan. Logan had a great analysis, and so did Megyn Kelly. They both had a great sort of a palate cleanser after this election that we all kind of needed. And in fact, the Megyn Kelly episode was kind of just humorous. There was a lot of humor packed into this, and I think comedy in some ways does sort of purify the soul. I need to go make sure my door is shut. So let's go ahead and attack the darkness. I don't think I shut my door properly, so let's make sure the sound is working. Let's make sure our levels are good. And, you know, this is, hey, Lynn, how's it going? Yeah. So you guys get to attack the darkness with me here.
Go get it. I can cast any of these, right? On the list?
Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room? I want to cast Magic Missile.
A room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile.
Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here.
I'm attacking the darkness. Go get it.
You have to attack the darkness. And so comedy, then we'll get into it. I don't know if I'll go all the way to the Timcast. We'll go into sort of the spiritual formation. I do think that what we're seeing, thanks, Lynn. Yeah, keep it positive. What we're seeing politically is really a manifestation of what we already know to be true from Ephesians. Our battle is not against flesh and blood. I should have had it queued up, but the world forces and spiritual forces. Okay, this is C.S. Lewis. There you go. Get that rocket out there. Good to see you guys. I hope you're all doing well. Again, like I said, there's a lot going on, so thank you for spending some time with me. I know that for me, this is a crazy season, so thank you for bearing with me as I continue to do like my best to maintain this podcast. And that's why I was talking about kind of the shorter episodes that I have been doing. I'm on Spotify and I'm on Rumble and I'm on all those other ones, but the main thing is right here in YouTube. And I tend to leave the shorter videos in YouTube, and I don't tend to do the work to transfer them over to Spotify and Rumble. But maybe in the future, that's just the way it's going to have to be. So thanks for being with me. I did do a live stream last week, but it was a members-only live stream, and you can catch a clip of that I posted, but the full live stream is here. I am in the Martin Shaw class, and so just sharing some of my thoughts from that first class. But I also have an announcement that I'm not quite ready to sort of put out into just the interwebs, as it were. Still working on a few pieces to that puzzle, and so yeah, hopefully by the end of the year, I'll let you guys know about a few things that are coming up. So thanks for being with me. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Some of this is going to be a little bit of improv. Usually, what I'll do is I'll put this stuff in Twitter to kind of keep it managed, and then I'll just play the clips from Twitter. But let's start with ABL again. If you're looking for news, I would recommend Anthony Brian Logan. I think he's great. My clip is from 4 minutes in. So again, bear with me as I kind of find my marks here. I didn't do the work beforehand to sort of reap them and loom them and put them in Twitter nice and ordered. It's probably about 4 minutes into this. And, you know, again, I kind of want to share some new voices, partly because of what it's the motivation for this episode. I gotta stay faithful to the thumbnail here. Give me a second. I get it. The podcasts and apocalypse. It's supposed to be podcasts and apocalypse. Modern Babel falls to the human spirit. ABL has a big channel, but again, we're seeing that modern that machine that old media, I think is what I'm going to start calling it, that old propaganda machine. And it doesn't necessarily have to be government propaganda, as our passage in Ephesians would tell us, that there are world forces, there are spiritual forces, they are collaborating together to perpetuate this wickedness. So it doesn't have to be necessarily political. There's just people have ulterior motives. You know, they might be saying that they want to just report on the news, but yeah, of course they want to sway you. Everybody would. That's just humanity. And so looking at different news sources, ABL is one. Even though his YouTube channel is big, it would be like one of these alternatives. One of the reasons I think why old media, that propaganda machine, that Tower of Babel system has fallen is because Elon Musk continues to say this on Twitter, on X, you know, you are the media now. And when you put that back into the hands of people, something magical happens. And you're here and I'm here to try to understand what that magic is, that has to do with the nature of the human spirit, our connection to the logos, our connection to the word, to logic, to reason, however you want to, truth, honesty, our connection to those things. The reason ABL is popular, the reason Megyn Kelly is popular, the reason even Tim Pool is popular, Joe Rogan, of course, Jordan Peterson, is that they have won the trust of people by, at least to some extent, being honest. And if Grimm is still here and he wants to tell us a little bit more about Russel Brand, he can fill you guys in on that, but and why he doesn't trust Russel Brand. But yeah, like to Lynn's point, you know, it's money. They have these motives, and what makes money? Well, fear. How do I maintain your attention so that I can sell ad spots to pharmaceutical companies? Well, I'm just going to keep you I'm going to keep you afraid because I don't really have anything valuable to say. So I just have to perpetuate terror, chaos, so that you stay glued to the news because you're worried that you might miss something. And that is kind of diabolical, right? If you think about it. And yet you have other sources out there that are not interested in that. They're like, I want to participate with this because I think there's something magical going on. When I podcast, I feel his pleasure, that idea of, you know, God has made me for a reason. So when I sit down here, I mean, even tonight, I'm like, I'm struggling. Life is busy, all that. And yet I'm like, I really I really do want to sit down. I want to talk about this because it's something in my mind, and I want to get your feedback on it. So I thought ABL had some really good takes. I might even switch my headphones here in a second because these are just big and bulky, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
It's just not really going to translate. How would a guy like Chris Wallace come anywhere near what a Joe Rogan is doing? That's their goal, is to try and overtake Joe Rogan's influence. Listen, if you can't talk to men in a serious way, in the real way, because I don't want to have no hello, fellow kids, when you're 80 years old with a skateboard. Or remember when Paul Ryan did that whole thing? Hold on.
Yeah. So are you going to be able to have the influence of a Joe Rogan? No, not if you're playing these games, not if you can't maintain a level of honesty. You're just not going to. And so, yeah, of course I gotta stop, I did my due diligence, and I put a link to this video in the description. Now, of course, I hit live stream earlier, and I hit the button twice, so it started and ended the live stream immediately. So I apologize for that. I should probably go onto my YouTube channel and actually delete that other one. So if you found this one, thank you. I appreciate that. Ignore the other one. I don't know what happened with that. But yeah, so this comes off the heels of the media saying, why don't we have our own, and by media, I mean kind of the old media and the liberal arm. The media was always meant to be a check against too much political power. The idea that the media would be free. And of course, right, Stalin, Hitler, we already brought that up. In these other countries, they had state-run media, and it slowly but surely, it has become really obvious that essentially America has state-run media. How that happened, I don't really know. Slow, frog pot boiling type of thing happened, and yet here we are. Now they're saying, well, we need our own Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan changed the course of this election. Do you agree? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Is it possible? Is it possible that Joe Rogan changed the course of American history because of a podcast? Because he sat down for 3 hours and talked to a political candidate? And because it wasn't a bunch of slogans, it wasn't a bunch of political one-liners, it was just a conversation. It was just a conversation. Now, YouTube allows me, YouTube allows me to test these different thumbnails, right? And where is it? The first thumbnail I tested, well, no. I put a few different thumbnails up, and the one, I'm not sure how this is going to go, but this is what Joe was saying during his podcast. He's just like, I don't give a if, put the kids away, cover the kids' ears. I don't give a F. I just want to talk. And he said, I don't care if we talk about cooking. I just want to talk to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was not available to talk. She cannot talk. That's not the game that they play. And if the new media, if the future of America or free societies or whatever is our ability to talk to one another, and you have political parties that are like the Tower of Babel, where they force you to say the right words, right? I mean, I've pointed this out time and time again, hoping that somebody gets this, right? It's very clear that they use the same language and the same words, right? The same words. And Megyn Kelly in her, let's see, we could find it. We could find it real quick. In this, it was very important. It was very important very early on. Sorry, I'm probably leaving my microphone behind here. It was very important very early on that you say Kamala Harris's name correctly. Why? Because it's very important that we all use the same language and say the same words. And if you can't get with it, then you're not a part of the Borg. You're not a part of the system. And we have to what would it be? We have to shun you. Let's see if I got to the right spot here. I kind of just improv'd it from what I remember, because it was this clip with her nieces teaching people how to say her name.
That we get her name right.
Confusion is understandable. Disrespect is not. What are you here to do?
To teach you how to say your auntie's name.
Okay, so how do you pronounce it?
First you say comma like a comma in a sentence. Then you say la like la 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 la.
Put it together and it's 1, 2, 3, Kamala.
I don't know how to say that word, Cassandra. You might have to spell it phonetically for me. I'm pretty dyslexic when it comes to this stuff. Okay, and now do you guys remember? Now, I played this clip in one of the other live streams. Is the Kamala trying to get the chant to change? Do you guys remember that? Everybody was saying, Kamala, Kamala, Kamala. And she said, get out the vote, get out the vote, get out the vote. And it short-circuited the beast. The beast you cannot change the mob. They're just Kamala. It's very important that we say the same words or same language, but not just the same language, okay? Tower of Babel, everybody says, oh, everybody had the same language. Yes, they had the same language. And they used the same words. Why is it that one political party wants you to say certain things a certain way? Because it's part of a Babble system that I think has always been with us. There's really two religions in the world. There is the religion of man, and then there is the religion of God. The religion of God comes down. The religion of man tries to build up. The religion of God comes down from heaven to reconcile with humanity. The religion of man, or the kingdom of man, builds up to try to unseat that which is divine and attain divinity for ourselves. It is like a mass hypnosis. It is the mob, and I did point that out in this. It was the why the real reason Kamala Harris couldn't go on Joe Rogan from 2 weeks ago. It was that and Socrates points this out, right? You cannot do philosophy at the scale of the crowd. Right? So he couldn't go into a theater like a playwright or a poet, and really wow the crowd. You just can't do philosophy that way. The crowd is there for you to make them laugh, to make them cry. They want to be invoked. And so they begin to operate as one organism. Comedians talk about this. Joe Rogan even talks about this. He says it's kind of, when you as a comedian are really working a crowd, it is like a type of hypnosis. And it's kind of true. You cannot once you are captured by that crowd, there's reason goes out the window. Okay, so there was another ABL clip that I wanted to show. Let's see if I marked it right. So yeah, if as I do this, you guys have any questions, let me know. And let me know that the sound is going okay, because again, I'm still. I've been doing this podcast for 2 years. I still don't have my sound figured out. I don't know if it's my mic. I don't know if it's my setup, but thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, even with my low budget setup.
This, support that, only when it's politically expedient to do so. The moment when it's not, the moment when they feel like they can attack somebody because they had a different point of view. Listen, Caitlyn Jenner, a.k.a. Bruce Jenner, would be stunning and brave if he had liberal ideology. But since he doesn't, then he's a rich white man. I'm not going to respect your pronouns. The truth comes out when they don't like you.
And that's why I keep.
Ooh. Yeah, so when you do not benefit the state, thanks, Lynn. If you're not benefiting that machine, If you and it's 100%, notice that it is 100%. Like someone like Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, who you would think, or even Joe Rogan, right? These people that, the sort of left, liberal leaning, progressive, whatever you want, the woke, crowd. You would think, oh yeah, okay, let's sort of work and collaborate with these people who seem like they could be allies for us. When that person doesn't toe the line, when that person does not say Kamala's name right, excommunication is the only answer. It's 100% allegiance to the system, or you cannot be a part of it. It's that tall poppy problem, right? If you heard this, and I don't remember the story well enough to name the names, but there's, the tyrant who goes out with his staff every morning into his field of poppies, and he just lops the heads off of all the tall poppies to keep them all in line, because the threat is really when one poppy starts to grow, then all the other poppies start to get out of line. And that's essentially what happened with Elon Musk buying Twitter. I think that was part of the system. Hold on. If you go, not that. There is a part in here. And I'm sorry, I didn't put any timestamps in here, which was lame of me. It's right at the beginning when they start talking, I thought. Let's see if it's here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I think this is the spot.
There's so much bullshit out there. First of all,
yeah, it's bullshit in all directions.
Thank you so much for buying Twitter.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm not exaggerating when I think you changed the course of history. I really do. I really think you made a fork in the road. We were headed down a path of censorship and of control of narratives that is unprecedented. Forget about what they were able to do back when they had newspapers and the media under control. What they were doing with social media by suppressing information, and when you had a combined government effort, like what they were doing with the laptop story, and Twitter complied.
Okay, we don't have to rehash that. If you want to go watch the whole thing, it's there. But yeah, 100% sort of the censorship game was at near full capacity, and then you just have a billionaire now. Is he, again, I said I'm cautiously optimistic. And I'm going to try to stay optimistic, but it is possible that Elon Musk, is just another part of a new Babble system, potentially. Look, what do you do with this? Bookmarks, podcast live. What do you do with this? What do you do with this, Elon? No. Oh, that's Rumble. I don't want to click the Rumble link. I just want to see the picture. I don't know what that symbol is. What's he wearing? I don't know. It looks like the Omega, right? But there's the all-seeing eye inside. Like what kind of? And then of course, Grizz. I'm calling Grizz out. He left. I need you, man. I need your insight here. I need your insight on Elon. So free speech, the freedom to be that tall poppy, the freedom to say, to dissent from the mob and say, guys, I'm not sure. And part of the reason I think this system short-circuited is because they clearly lost, but then they couldn't change course. And I honestly think it was well before the election took place. I think they were falling apart, but they couldn't change course because there is no philosophy with them. There is no thinking. There is no self-awareness that says, hey guys, I think we may have missed something. There's a little bit now that CNN, MSNBC, ABC, all those news organizations have been gutted. They were hollowed out over the last couple of years. They were very much hollowed out over the past couple of months. The only thing that kept them propped up was the election. As soon as the election result came out, nobody cares. Like we're exhausted. And so thank you for being here, because I know this is sort of still political talk, but I'm trying to get to the backstory here. We're kind of exhausted by the political talk, right? And so ABC, CNN, MSNBC, they're all done. They're done. Like I don't think there's any recovering. I really don't. Now, let me see where my next spot was here for. Well, yeah. Let's stick with Megyn Kelly. Gosh, it was so good. Again, the comedy of it was part of it. 44-38. Let's see if we can get there. Since Grizz left, I have to try to do my Grizz impersonation. Let's go with 44. Yeah, 44-20. So, the media got gutted. And again, I think that it started to show up even before the election took place. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to stay under the fair use guidelines here. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. I realized I wasn't doing that earlier, so hopefully nobody tags me for that. But yeah, let's see. Oh, you know what I need to do also? I need to turn my headphones down. It's a little loud. All right.
And in his own voice, called Trump a fascist. Oh, fascist porn. Stop the presses. It was a claim that Harris agreed with on CNN.
You've quoted General Milley calling Donald Trump a fascist. You yourself have not used that word to describe him. Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Game changer, or not. Liz Cheney, who's never been the answer to anyone's problems, became a fixture on the campaign trail with Harris. To whom does she appeal again, exactly? The lying ramped up as virtually everyone in media and on Team Harris called Trump the fascist word, called him a white supremacist, a white national. Oh, fascist porn.
Hold on.
The press made fun.
This is not where I want to be, friends. This is not where we want to be. Maybe it's the last one. 39. I think it's 39. I think it was this 39 one. Let's try again. Fascist porn. Goose. I'm gonna get a strike. Let's see. She talks about how.
I guess we'll never know. And then there was Oprah, who decided to switch up her acting routine from that terrible Meghan Markle interview. Remember? What? Wait, what? They wanted to know how dark your baby was going to be? Next to a leaf blower factory? Did she attend too many Metallica concerts as a young person? Why was she yelling at us? Amazingly, you're going to be shocked to learn the yelling did not move the needle in the polls.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. It didn't. So she goes on Oprah and allegedly sort of paid for these appearances, which is crazy if that's true. That you have a political candidate who would not, that's bonkers. Now I think that there is some news about that, but that Kamala paid to go on Oprah in these places, like that's a sign. That's a sign. But that after going on these shows, nothing happened. No movement in the polls.
Did not help. So Harris moved on to real celebrities. Got the endorsements from Taylor Swift, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B. Just as Mark Cuban was lecturing us that the sexist jerk Trump never surrounds himself with strong, intelligent women, Harris has Cardi B show up at a rally and endorse her. Cardi B, who once tweeted, "I wonder how pee tastes like."
It's great. Okay, I still haven't found the spot, so I need to actually hang with me. Again, if you have a question for me, let me know. I need to get the transcript. Oh, gosh, sorry. It was right when she was talking about Howard Stern. Howard with an A. I was close. 73-20. I must have been. I was in my car. I was driving. I was doing some shopping. I was trying to get some. Yeah. Anyway, life. I was doing life things. Let's see if this is it.
She went on Howard Stern and made zero news. She went on a smutty sex podcast where they normally talk about dildos. That interview currently has less than 900,000 views. It was all about abortion, Harris's very favorite subject, and a big favorite of the sex podcasters, shocking, too. It never heated up, there was no climax, and to no one's surprise, no afterglow. The 60 Minutes interview went so poorly that the news team over there may never recover. Instead of showing us what really happened, they covered for her, shortening her indecipherable answers to make them less word salady, and they got caught. Remember?
Okay. Making her sound less word salady. Why? Because she can't talk. There's a system, like, you have to be fed the words from the beast, and then you just regurgitate those words. Kamala, Kamala, get out the vote. Wait, whoa, what? I can't short circuit. And then we're gone. You lost track of people, right? And so she goes on these podcasts. And I pointed this out that there are, like, if there's a political party that says, hey, I'd like to go on your podcast and we would like full control over all the edits after the fact. And then there's this other political party that says, hey, I'd like to come on your podcast, but I don't want you to edit at all. Don't take me out of context. Don't take little clips and reuse them. Just do the full thing unedited. That tells you something. Now, again, not trying to be, overly political about one particular party. I am somewhat politically homeless, although I would just say I'm conservative, so I'm always going to try to navigate and vote as conservative as I can be. But that's a wild piece to this. Like, that's again a symptom. I think that's a sign that the beast system has fallen. That the human spirit rejects that level of dishonesty.
They got caught. The American public demanded that 60 release the full unedited transcript so we could see just how badly she had mangled her exchanges, and CBS refused to do it, destroying viewers' trust and CBS's credibility.
Yeah. And so I think actually there's a lawsuit about that. I don't know that she goes into it. Again, link in the description. I thought the whole thing was just, again, a palate cleanser. From a pretty intense political cycle. Like, that's what I'll say. It was intense. I think it's still intense a little bit. We will see. In fact, we've sort of talked about the spiritual side of this. I don't know how much of this I want to play, but yeah, there seems to be people are waking up to the fact that it's more. What's the best explanation for a system like this that cannot speak? That that's not really it. That can only say the words that they've been given by the system. They just have to use the same words. What is the best explanation? Is it just a political philosophy, or is it the Luciferian backdrop to it? I did point this out. Again, I'm trying to rehash some of this podcast that I did without going over all of it. One of the things that I didn't really lean into real hard was that if you actually go back to Genesis 3, there's an interesting comparison between Genesis 3 and the temptation of Jesus in the desert by the Satan. Here, you sort of have Adam, but then you have Jesus, the true Adam. And of course, sort of Satan is still using the word of God, so to speak, but you notice that it's always kind of in opposite. And again, there's a system that instead of telling you what they're for, they're just going to tell you what they're against. And that's another clue. Okay. What policies do you have? Well, you can check my policies out on my website. I'm here to talk about how bad this other political candidate is. This person is bad. This person is bad. Well, but what policies? How are you going to help Americans? Well, it's on my website. It's like, because what you want to do is this, right? The serpent said to the woman, "You surely will not die, for God knows in the day when you eat from it, your eyes will be open and you will be like him, knowing God." Now the serpent was more crafty than any beast of the field. And he said to the woman, Has God said? That is a very powerful spell in a way, right? Did God really say? Did God really promise this to you? Is God really good? Is he really God? Does God really exist? Maybe it's just you. Maybe you are God. Maybe you have to become God. In fact, God does exist, but God's bad, and we can be more powerful than God, and we can overthrow God. See, it's the philosophy of opposites. It's like, well, we could live in the garden and perpetuate life. We could be for something. We could be for the being fruitful and multiplying and filling the earth with the image of God. That's production, and that's positive sort of transformation. It's not just pulling from something. It's not just twisting something. It's not just distorting something or perverting something that already exists. It's actual new life and the multiplication of that godly image. And so, again, without, maybe leaning in too hard, I will always be a little bit, I will try to pay attention to how people talk. And when the reason that Kamala's podcast appearances didn't move the needle politically at all is because she's not very interesting to listen to. I think I'm not going to, oh, see, that's where Grizz went. He's live streaming. See, this is what YouTube needs to do. YouTube needs to have a way for me to raid Grizz's live stream. Unless he's raiding my live stream. Of course not. Can we double live stream? Can we jump into Grizz's live stream? That would be awesome. Okay. What am I doing here? I'm going to JRE. And I'm going to videos. And I'm going to Donald Trump's video, which currently has 51 million views and 500,000 comments. That will wake up an egregore. An egregore? Egregore? That will wake up a spirit, right? That will invoke the attention of people. And look at what one of the first comments is what we're talking about tonight. Podcasts are officially more important than traditional media. Now, that comment has 384,000 likes and 585 replies. How much conversation did Kamala Harris generate? Like positive conversation. Like the Call Her Daddy podcast, at least when Megan was doing her show, had, I think, less than 500,000 views. Less than 500,000. And Trump and Rogan, now, of course, Rogan is a bigger podcaster, but Trump and Rogan has 51 million views, and his episode with J.D. Vance has 17 million. By comparison, John Fetterman, who's part of a different political party, has 1.8 million. Now, the Fetterman interview was hard to listen to. Fetterman had a stroke recently, and bravo to him. I mean, legitimately bravo to him for going on and talking to Joe for 2 hours. That must have been difficult, but so I wonder if probably some of the views are a little less just because of the nature of the podcast. But yeah, there's something, again, sort of something brewing here that I don't want to overlook. And again, I'm sort of gesturing back to this spiritual battle because in the news we have, is this too far of a stretch to say that this machine has started to fall apart? And as it crumbles, what did they say? Tyrants would rather rule over the ashes, right, than be sort of overthrown. Is it possible that some of the reaction to their loss of power, that power returning to the people because the people now have a voice? Now, think about how funny that is, right? Just by giving people the freedom to speak, tyrants are afraid. These, the people that you would think have the most power, they fear the speech of free people. That tells you that we have a unique relationship to the word, that words are powerful, that we are sort of containers for those words. They come into us and we think on them and we mull them over. There's sort of a nod back to the storytelling class that I'm in with Martin Shaw. They grab a hold of you. They ferment inside of you, and they sort of become alive, and it moves people. And I think the opposite is probably true. And so now you have, and this is, I think, is of today. Yeah, the 18th. No, that was yesterday. Trump comes out and he says, we have to de-escalate this war that's going on. I haven't listened to this, but it might be worth listening. It's only a minute and a half. I think that's not even the full thing that he put out, but c'est la vie. That's the one I clicked on. and I'm going to speed it up.
To World War III than we are today under Joe Biden. A global conflict between nuclear-armed powers would mean death and destruction on a scale unmatched in human history. It would be nuclear Armageddon. Nothing is more important than avoiding that nightmare. We will avoid it, but we need new leadership. Every day this proxy battle in Ukraine continues, we risk global war. We must be absolutely clear that our objective is to immediately have a total cessation of hostilities. All shooting has to stop. This is the central issue. We need peace without delay. In addition, there must also be a complete commitment to dismantling the entire globalist neocon establishment that is perpetually dragging us into endless wars, pretending to fight for freedom and democracy abroad, while they turn us into a third world country and a third world dictatorship right here at home. The State Department, the defense bureaucracy, the intelligence services, and all of the rest need to be completely overhauled and reconstituted to fire the deep staters and put America first. We have to put America first.
Put America first. Put Americans first. Yeah. Anyway, interesting. I mean, is that part of the reason why there's this conflict? I mean, again, this cult, this religion, it is a religion of death. I mean, ultimately, that's its goal, right? The promise is you will be like God. The result is you will die. You will die spiritually. You will die. There will be a physical death. You will be like God. Remember, Adam and Eve, you were made in the image of God. You're already like God. You don't need to eat of the fruit of the tree to be like God, knowing good and evil, as the serpent promises. You are like God. And that's part of the deception. That's part of the piece that I'm trying to work through, is when I posted this on Twitter, but it seems to me that when we lose a sense of a shared story, we open ourselves up to become vulnerable to deception. That deception keeps us in this like mob-like, the only way to reason is to find other people who agree exactly with me. I can't really think about it. I'm so ideologically committed. I am afraid of anyone challenging me. And with that, you lose your identity. You no longer realize that you're made in the image of God. And with that comes this sort of death, this spiritual death. And so I actually, again, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think we are in some kind of reawakening. I did have this clip. I might play it. We've got some time. So thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Even though you could be at a Grim Grizz live stream. What was I gonna say? The Tower of Babel. Okay, so sorry. My title for the live stream tonight: podcasts and apocalypse. Okay, the apocalypse. The idea of apocalypse. The word apocalypse means to reveal. Right. That's what we're talking about. Took us a while to get there, but there's something is being revealed because the people have a voice, because people can have conversation the way Joe Rogan has conversation. These conversations are being recorded and shared with millions of people. And we, even though we might only be listening, in some way participate in that conversation. And so maybe there is sort of an awakening. I listened to this clip really briefly. I didn't really like analyze it or anything like that. So I don't know her theology. I don't know that it aligns exactly with my theology, but let's give it a shot. Let's give it a little listen.
But what I'm really excited about is that the political correctness, the sort of woke era is over, because you need mob mentality momentum in order to keep that going, in order to threaten people if they're not thinking and talking the way you do, to threaten their lives, threaten their careers, threaten their place in society. You need that momentum in order to do that. And when Trump won presidency again, that cut that momentum off. So this whole woke era is over.
You're right. I mean, they only are effective when they work in perfect harmony together. And now
Yeah. Is that right? Is that what we're talking about? They're only effective. And as soon as that harmony gets broken by the voices of other people, it sort of shatters the glass, right? It shatters whatever that, it breaks the fourth wall, maybe.
now they're all divided and arguing with each other, and they're not on offense. They're canceling each other. And that's probably a good thing. Is it really official? You believe it's official? We're never going back to cancel culture. We're never going back to political correctness. You're calling it right here?
Well, I'm saying you need that. I mean, when you look at mob mentality and the things that have happened, like the tulip mania hundreds of years ago, the burning of the witches in Salem, there needed to be a mob mentality momentum. And if you don't have that, it dies out.
Okay, so does this same thing appear in the church? Does this same mentality appear in the church? Good question.
And I'm talking about, yes, things have changed politically, obviously, but it's spiritual. It's a spiritual shift. It started a little bit when Elon Musk bought Twitter and turned it into X, and it really changed when Donald Trump won this presidency. I can feel it, definitely.
I can feel it too. There's also an excitement. And I don't know whether it's about the decisive victory or if it's about the way he's rolling out these cabinet officials. There's a promise in the air where people are expecting major change. And you're kind of on the edge of your seat because you don't know how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen, but people expect it to happen.
Cautiously optimistic. We are cautiously optimistic about it. And yeah, is it evidence that the human spirit is free, feeling that free, that there has been a level of tyranny that we have endured for some time, and now there's we're at least aware of that tyranny and have a realistic hope of freedom in the future. Maybe.
Are you feeling that too?
Yeah, for the last 4 years, very acutely, and I know it preceded these 4 years as well, but there's been kind of a pressing down and kind of limiting what people can say. And what happens too is you limit what can even occur in society. And so there's been a stagnation. Things haven't been moving forward in the arts, in philosophy, in politics, in medicine, in anything. And I don't mean technically were there technological advances or anything like that. I mean innovation, like with your thoughts, with what is coming into your spirit from God, magic, the universe, whatever you want to call it. That's been stagnated for at least 4 years. And now that's changed. And that's what I'm really excited about.
Is that the, sort of coming out of the modernity, coming out of this, enlightenment, rationalism, into something that, do you feel that? Do you feel that stagnation? Are we now in our modern era not as smart as the forefathers? We go back and we look at the pyramids and we're like, I'm not sure we could build those. So maybe there is something to that. So okay, yeah, that clip had a lot of the pieces that we have been talking about. I think that, again, cautiously optimistic. I lost my my tab that had my channel on it, so I'm gonna go back to that. And then okay, so I actually do have a short little at least one little announcement piece that I can give you guys, which is kind of cool. But anyway, there's the podcast. Check it out if you want to. This was the previous video that I did that we've been sort of riffing off of tonight. I do believe I have linked that in the description. But yeah, Lynn, it's like a dragon hoarding its gold. Yeah, and okay, think about that imagery as well with this last clip. I mean, the dragon hoarding his gold. It's like you have it, but it's not doing anything for you. It's not growing. You're not utilizing it for anything. And yeah, I do think we will be surprised in the future. Yeah. The rock destroyed the Tower of Babel. No, we will be able to predict as God sent a rock. What rock? Is that the stumble? Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, I've done a little bit, but the Babel, Babel is after the flood. And so a lot of that Babel stuff is still with us, I think. So that's the podcast. You can go back and look at it again. Try to live stream on Tuesdays. If I can't do Tuesday, I'll usually do Wednesday. Again, you can check out the members only live stream from last week if you want to. If you're a member, thank you for supporting the channel. What else have I been up to? I'll keep doing stuff from Christian Wonder Tales, and I think that might that might signal a little bit of a change in this podcast channel towards the end of the year. I'm a little Joe Rogan'd out. I've been very Joe Rogan heavy because I think there's a lot going on in his podcast that was beneficial for the conversation that we've been having here. But I'm almost like I'm almost hoping he doesn't have anybody interesting come on anytime soon. And then I want to share this actually with you guys. This is my friend Scott, and I'm actually going to play his song as an outro. It won't be this song. His song, My Girl, For My Girl, came out. Let me see if I can share. I guess I can just copy the album, huh? He's gonna put out more in January, but this is his first song that he put out. And then I think I have his song that we've been playing one of his songs as an outro. Let me see if I can find that bad boy. Okay, we attacked it. We have successfully attacked the darkness. I think we did. And then you know what else I want to do? So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I don't know if anybody's still around, but if you are and you have questions, let me know. Let me do something really, really quick. I forgot that I was gonna. We should play Grim Grizz in the background while we listen to as we listen to Scott. Let's see. Yeah, this looks good. This looks like it could be good. Oops. Thanks for hanging with me while I fumble through my life here. There it is. All right, figured it out. And then here's Scott playing one of the songs that I sing this song to myself, man. It's just a good song.
Go get it. I can cast
Not
it.
that song. Crying out loud. This is the song, man. Yeah, there we go. That's the vibe. Yeah, with those birds playing.
May there be no sadness when I cross over. May there be no sadness when I cross over. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy